Hi, Divine Feminine. I was just literally going to say, I hope you have your cup of tea or coffee, whatever you're drinking. I forgot mine, so I hope you have one. And, already your reading is looking pretty interesting. For those of you that don't know, I'm your host, Yildiz from Yildiz Readings. And we don't like long intros. We do have all the disclaimers directly below. At some point, I might have them streaming across the screen for legality reasons. Otherwise, we are going to get into the psychic updates prior to the tarot reading, which I will interpret psychically. Now, for the last few weeks, and I would say, you guys all do need to go very, very easy on yourself. We are, a lot of you, especially in your path, have had it quite hard. A lot of us, and the messages I was getting, and this was a few weeks ago, and it still does relate, is that a lot of us can feel at the moment that we are being very tested. And this testing, we can take it honest to gospel, very, very personal. I know that a few weeks ago, I literally was saying that guy hated me. I myself am a twin flame, and I literally felt like everything was going wrong. And, sometimes we do directly have those days, and it's like, you stub your toe and you're like, oh God, you'll be in that vibration, like you're going to have a terrible day. This was a consistent weeks. It wasn't a day. It wasn't a moment. It was just continuous adversity. We are having squares in astrology, and we are doing a lot of integrating. We're simultaneously this year energetically ending cycles and beginning new ones. So it is like having two jobs. So you are going to feel like you're split and you're pushed between a rock and a hard place. This is a month where it's the choice month, okay? It's almost like we're gathering all that information. We're trying to decipher delusions from realities. And I feel as we do get past the third week, it's where we're going to have a better understanding of what we want to do, how we feel, and there has been a lot of purging involved. So if that is something that you directly are going through, hopefully this has given you some context in the mix of things. Now, I do feel a lot of you can feel as though there's no fruit left on the tree. Something that's really going to spiritually help you at this point in time is really tapping into your creativity. And I feel if you can do that, just to kind of get the zest back in life, it's going to give you a bit of a spark in your step. Try to think of each step as a moment over looking forward too far. I think if we are spiritually looking forward too far, we're going to overwhelm ourselves. The other energy is because we do have the North Node in Pisces, some of us can be having circumstances linking back to 2017, 2020. We did back then have Chiron and Pisces, and a lot of us were in the twin flame path going through a lot of ascension, a lot of dark night of the soul energy. Certain zodiac signs will be going through that yet again. That's not to say that it's negative. Generally, if you are having a first and a seventh house placement, or you're having hard Saturn placements, you always are going to be rewarded at the end of it. So although we can feel this energy to be very burdensome, almost like we're spiritually having an identity crisis, this is going to pass because we are shedding the old skin. We could be very afraid of shedding that old skin, that it means we're not going to get what we want. I'm really not feeling that is the case. I feel there is a lot of integration here, and you have to be very gentle with yourself. Now, your crowning energy already is asking you to change your perspective. And it can be very hard in the context of things when we are feeling almost like we're very protective of our heart. There's a head and heart decision here. And it's funny because this energy directly in the groin chakra is within the headspace. There is a lot of changes that you spiritually have gone through. And for some of you, you can feel with all those changes, it's availed to nothing. And I don't feel that's going to be so. I feel the exhaustion factor for some of you can be there. Now, your overarching energy is very spiritual in its context. But there is this confusion, there is this misunderstanding and really worry surrounding where your path is going. For a lot of you, it could be that you directly are, it's sometimes we give up, sometimes we get to a space we don't want to manifest anything, and sometimes that can be a very good thing. It can directly link to a space in which you are reaching within your ascension path. So for some of you, this doesn't have to be a negative thing. For some of you, though, it could be that you are feeling negative towards the path, towards the power and, really trying to push something to the past there. I do feel for some of you, again, if this is based on a very separate situation and it's something of your heart's desires and you feel you just can't have what you want, I would sit with it for a week, because I do feel it's almost like our logic is going to look at things differently. And so, although we can feel very, for some of us, we could feel very angry, we might feel very frustrated and burdened. Wait a minute as we integrate, because you do have Lady Luck on your side. And there is going to be almost like when we don't see a way through the clouds, right? And we do give that to Gaia. What does happen is, very synchronistically, they open doors for us. And I feel if you can get into that vibe, just rest, recover, be open, take one step at a time. I feel your energy is going to, A, feel better, and B, it is going to come to a space where some doors are going to open. Now, for some of you, I do feel there's an energy of another person here, and it can be that you're wanting to open up to another individual. Don't know why this energy is coming through now. It almost feels like a Venus retrograde. But the give and take within connections is something you're really, really wanting. You at the heart of it want to give, and that's another thing that is very concerning, because you do feel to yourself that you do give quite a bit. And so again, we can then say, well, I give and I do not receive. When we are giving, it's because we choose to give. And so just in each moment, if you're choosing to give as much as you're willing to give, not what you're willing to lose, because it is a gift and you are a gift. Again, they're asking you to, to just try to get in that Zen space, just breathe. Because as I mentioned, this has been a very energetic month. And it's not just the month, it's really been since September last year. And I've been harping on about this for a while, but we really are in this kind of frequency of, having nostalgia, having downloads. We do have some Lady Luck coming our way. And, with your routine, try to minimize what you're doing until you're integrated, because I do feel there is some communication coming through for you. But there is a lot of conversation and activity around home, and it could be that you're needing to give to yourself. Somebody in your family might say something quite loving, and this can come at the right time. There also can be some mirroring going on within tribe and family at this point in time. Now, at a base level, what am I physically seeing? Again, it's like very loving and then down to the grit, okay? At a foundation level, and this is very natural when this happens. This can be your perspective based on your twin flame. It may be that you feel this person does not make a dedicated effort, and there could be some frustrations. And I really did get this energy, especially with Neptune and Aries, Saturn moving in Aries. We were having this frequency of masculine energy collectively. And sometimes if we've had negative experiences, or there has been people that are very projectile, we can directly feel a negative response to do with that. And so, what we are collectively going to require, and we're going to have very little tolerance for it. So we're going to have an understanding of how our ascension process is going to be integrating, is that who is not giving, it's almost like a tax return. It does feel like a tax return here with 8 energy. It's very Pluto in nature. Really doing your audit, really looking at things through. And so spiritually, if that is something you're going through and, at a foundation level, it may be that you feel quite spent. It might be that you feel that this person is not giving enough. And so the negativity inside it, you are attempting to control your energy so you do not project. But I also feel this person may be having some issues around finances. And again, this is not financial advice. This is the energy of what is coming through in the read. I do feel with the movement, I do feel there is going to be an opportunity for some blessings to come. And I feel there's going to be a point this week where it is going to be turning. And I also feel there could be some dream states that are coming through. And it does feel as though this person is going to lead the way. And you're really going to be open to a person who's going to invest in you. A lot of us are going to be attracting people, and even within the twin flame path, it is generally, even if you are going through a hard time in the path, what you're going to find, if this person is coming back, what is going to occur is it's more than likely going to be something that lasts quite a long time on this occasion. Now, for some of you, that portal can be a little bit longer, and I'm not talking 10 years. But regardless, the whole frequency is bringing that commitment energy online. I do feel within your own energy, utilize your masculine frequency, but there could be a point where you need to allow this person to actually lead the way. And it's almost like if some of you are actually directly pulling back, I feel this person's moving towards you. I do feel that is coming through quite positively. And it's almost like this person is becoming a leader in their own energy. Now, we do cover the masculine, feminine, and karmic. So each week we do cover this. If it's content that you're really wanting to watch, come through and have a look at each of them if you haven't seen them already. And by commenting on them, it does actually share these through the algorithm. If you're needing a booking, we do have bookings online. There is a small schedule. They fill up extremely quickly. So jump online as soon as possible. Also, for the membership, we have shifted it over to a Mighty network. Stage 2 is open, but it is only by email. So between now and the end of the year, the only way you can join the network is via a submission. Now, we do have the landing page. It is on my website, and all the links directly below are there. Thank you so much for joining. I hope to see you next week. And if there's anything you want to share with us about this content, feel free to share it. And if you do have questions, I'm happy to answer them.